Hi there, welcome to Glazed Virtual Summer Camp. Today we are making our tween class, the Fortnite plate, and I'm your teacher, Miss Laura. Let's have a look at what supplies come in your kit. First, you're going to find your quote bubble plate with your stencil already attached. You'll have all the colors you need to create a cool galaxy effect, as well as sponges, toothpicks for peeling off your stencil, paintbrushes for extra detail, and our fun doodle challenge. Also, don't forget to grab a cup of water for washing your brush and a napkin for drying it. Alright, let's start with your doodle challenge. Today is a super fun one. It's called Draw That Sound. We're going to play some sound effects, and you're going to do your very best to draw what you think that sound looks like. Great job! I hope you guys had fun playing Draw That Sound. It's one of my favorite doodle challenges. Now it's time to move on to our project. Are you ready? Alright, let's gather our supplies. First we're going to start pulling out our paint, our sponges, and most importantly, our project. Your stencil is already adhered to your plate, so you're going to take a moment to press down every portion of the stencil to make sure it is really stuck on there good so no paint seeps through underneath. So I'm going to take my finger and rub along every edge. Alright, next we're going to start with our paints minus the black and white. We're going to hold those off for now, okay? You should have a light blue and a dark blue, a light purple and a dark purple. This is going to create our galaxy effect. We're going to start by using these two sizes. You're going to get 4 different sizes of sponges in your package, but we're going to put the 2 larger ones aside for now. We're going to start with our lightest color, which is number 85, light purple. It's called Orchid, and you're going to dip your sponge into it. I like to keep my lid here extra and just dab off any excess so there's not too much paint on my sponge. And now, starting wherever you like, totally up to do, you're just going to start dabbing. You can do a circular motion. You can even do just kind of like a little line. We're basically just creating that sort of nebula look. So really it doesn't matter the shape, just have fun. And I'm going to do it in a couple different spots. All over my plate. Alright, next I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to take my larger sponge, and I'm going to dip into my darker purple, always being sure to dab off the excess, and I'm going to go right over the edge of my lighter color, overlapping it slightly. Now back to this one. See how it's slightly overlapping but not covering the entire color. all the way around, just like that. Just in a nice dabbing motion, a thin layer. Alright, now we're going to put this one down for a second. You may have noticed I have not cleaned off my small brush, my small sponge. I'm going to dip that back in and go right back over where the two colors met. This is going to help blend your colors together, okay? So that there's not a harsh line in between where they meet. Go ahead and do second coat along the center as well. And what we're going to be doing is building up these layers, going back and forth between the light and the dark, not worrying about cleaning our sponge off, just letting them blend together. There's my second coat, and I'm going to go back in for a third. For my third coat, I'm going to get a little messy, go over the center just a little bit. It's only one layer, so it's not going to show up super dark, but this just helps in the blending process. If you feel like you did too much, go back over again with your lighter color and add some more in. Now you're going to repeat the same process in a couple other areas on your canvas with your two blue shades, but first you're going to want to completely clean off your sponges. Alright, once you've got 3 layers of your purple and blue down, we're going to fill in all the white spaces in between with our black paint. I'm just going to use my small sponge so that I can really get into these smaller areas. Again, getting your paint on and then dabbing off the excess. I'm going to wash my sponge. I'll dry it. And I'm going to start with purple. Again, now going back over and blending over the edge between the purple and the black. There's going to be a lot of overlapping in this process. And what that overlapping is going to do for you is just blend your colors so that they fade into each other like a space sky. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. And actually, the messier you are, the better it turns out. Now I'm going to go in with my blue. And the more I want to blend the colors, the less I really clean my sponge off in between. If I don't want my colors to blend in certain areas, then I will really clean my sponge off well. I'm going to clean my sponge now to go in for some more black. Have fun continuing to build and add layers until the color is to your liking. Don't forget, you also have the back of the plate as well. So if you're having fun creating this galaxy effect, carry it over to the back. Or have fun creating something totally new on the back. Next, we're going to let this dry before we add on our last details. You can do a splatter effect to create stars, or even add on some constellations. Now we're going to learn how to splatter. Take your brush, doesn't matter the size really, and get your paint on that brush. Nice. Okay? I like to take my index finger, stick it out with my brush in my other hand, and then just gently tap it against your finger. Make sure that the surface that you're working on is covered. This paint is washable though. Now have fun adding in any extra little details that you like. In the studio, you often hear us talking about how layering light colors on top of dark doesn't show up well. However, there's always a time and a place for everything. And in this instance, since we sponged, our sponging won't necessarily come out super dark. So adding the white on top is perfectly fine. Just make sure you do it a little bit thicker. You can even use the back of your brush to create dots. I'm going to do a little dipper over here. You're going to need to give your painting a bit of time to dry. Once it's completely dry, you'll notice it won't be shiny anymore. Now it's time to remove your stencil. You're going to take your pointy end of your toothpick and just kind of scoop underneath to lift the stencil and peel it off. Don't worry if your paint crumbles as you're peeling the stencil off. That's totally normal. Just give it a quick little and you'll push it all off. Now, don't forget to put your name on the back. We're going to flip it over and I'm going to show you how to make sure your name shows up really nicely on top of a dark background. You're going to dip into your paint, decent amount of paint on, and just go kind of thick. If you notice, your paint should be kind of thick. If you look from the side, you should see it kind of sticking up a little. You might want to make sure it's thick enough that it shows up. And I always like to include the year, so you remember how old you were when you made this. And just like that, you're done. Thanks so much for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you can be here for our next project.